Hi, I'm Jonna. Welcome to the Idaho Real Estate. Oops, wrong title. We're going to back the truck up and I'm going to share with you our new title, Real Estate Investing for Life. Da-da-da! There you go. Real estate investing for life is something that I'm super excited about. Let me share with you our background, why we made the change, and a little bit about where we were and where we're going. So, if you've been listening to the show for a while, you know that we are the Idaho Real Estate Investing Show. We actually just wrapped up season 2, which we really enjoyed. And I want to say a special thank you to all the guests that we had on for season 2. And I hope that you all found value. If you're new to this show and haven't listened, please tune back for the last 30 episodes. There's some really gems of information in there from some of our guests. We are excited to go into season 2, and this name change isn't just an SEO play. It is a sign of us expanding our reach. You know, as we've been recording this podcast, certainly for the last year and then the year before, we've noticed that the demographics reach well beyond Idaho, which is really exciting. And of course, a lot of our guests have been from outside Idaho as well, and many more are interested in coming on the show. But it's really not about that, but it's about helping as many people as possible with the good news. And there's a couple kinds of good news. Of course, I believe good news is the Lord's good news. That is absolutely first and foremost. But the second good news is that there is a different way of living and there's a different result that can happen. And one of the things that's on my heart is that there's a real issue right now with folks throughout the U.S., probably throughout the world, but really what I'm seeing over and over is folks here that are doing all the right things by society standards. They've gotten the higher education, they've gotten the W-2 job, they are working hard, they are sometimes working 60 to 80 hours a week hard, and they're working for someone else. And that's all great, and hopefully it's very, very fulfilling. But my question is, because I see it more often not than is it getting you where you want to go? So whether you're a W-2 owner or you're a successful business owner, is it setting you up for the life that you want to live 10, 20, 30 years from now? You know, I talk to a lot of business owners, have a lot of them I've had as real estate clients and, of course, personal friends, and I'm a business owner myself. And what we see over and over is that businesses are getting hit hard with taxes and expenses and license fees and all the things. And sometimes in certain industries, there's more choice than ever. I know as someone who has been a real estate agent for years and years, it has changed dramatically the last 12 to 24 months with competition and new rules and regulations and kind of some cutthroat practices that have been happening. And that's just an example when you're working so hard and sometimes you're working to pay your employees, which we always want to do the right thing and pay our employees first and foremost. But I know of a lot of business owners right now that are making considerably less than their employees are, but yet working just as hard and also have the heavy weight of that business on their shoulders. So that's really, if you could target one type of person that we want to expand our reach to, it's that demographic for people that know that there's something else out there and that they could be doing more to increase their cash flow and their income streams and certainly their net worth as they go down the line. And that's where real estate investing, true real estate investing, comes in. And the goal is not just to become a real estate investor. You hear that all the time when people say they want to become a real estate investor. But I think what they want is they want what it represents. You know, they want not just investing, but they want freedom and security and lifestyle and retirement. It's really sad when people want to take charge and do something for themselves in that way and their families, but they don't know where to start. And, you know, the problem isn't that we have a scarcity of information. The problem, I think, is we have too much information coming at us, too many ways, too many strategies, too many different creative ways to go about doing things. And That's all well and good, but you need to know what's right for you and what is right for your family and your goals going forward. And it's not the same thing for everybody. I don't think it's cookie cutter. Okay. So we're going to explore what it means to be a successful professional and business owner and doing all the right things, but adding the idea of starting a real estate portfolio to your income statement. It's really exciting and it's not easy. And people, I think, across the board would agree that real estate investing, especially in a market like 2025, is not easy. But done right, it doesn't have to be complicated. It can be simple. And I stand by that. And as a bit of background, that's something that I've been standing by for over 2 decades. I have done real estate investing across multiple different asset classes over the years, but we've kept it pretty darn simple. And that's something I pride myself in because I think you can look really fancy and overcomplicate things. And once the fundamentals are in place and you've got the coverage that you need, both financially and legally and tax advantages and all of that sort of thing, it continues to roll and it picks up steam along the way if you keep at it and are just consistent. It gets really, really exciting.
Hey, Idaho investors, here's a stat that might surprise you. Over 70% of successful real estate investors say their best deals didn't come from the MLS or from a cold online lead. They came through their network. So if you're serious about growing your portfolio, it's time to get in the right room. Join Idaho REIN, the Idaho Real Estate Investor Network, an affiliate of the National RIA. We're here to inspire, connect, and equip you to build real wealth through real estate. Success doesn't happen in isolation. Get in the room where it's happening. Visit idahorein.com and join us today.
So, we're going to be talking about practical strategies for starting and scaling rental portfolios. I am going to share more stories and interview with successful investors and experts, but also like real estate investors next door. I have this vision. A couple of years ago, I had an event and everyone I invited as a speaker. What about if a bunch of people in your neighborhood were real estate investors and you didn't know it? Well, the truth is they are. There are more mom and pop investors than you would think, especially here in Idaho. I know lots of them. A lot of them are part of our Idaho Real Estate Investor Network, and it's so exciting. There was a book back in the 90s, I think, maybe it was 2000s, but it might have been 90s, The Millionaire Next Door. If anyone's old enough to have read that, let me know. But I was fascinated by that book as a very young person reading that and how sometimes the most successful people were not the flashiest people, but they were financially sound and they had peace going into retirement years. And that's so important. And so I believe that that is the case with a lot of real estate investors that you may see and you may go to your kids' games with them or you may see them at the restaurant. But when asked, you might be surprised how many of them are quietly doing some investing to better their future. It's really exciting. So we're going to get some of those folks on the show. And I'm going to share clear steps for financing, protecting, and managing your investments. But really, we want to give guidance that's approachable, simple, and time efficient. Most importantly, we want to be efficient, be brief, and get you the information you need and get on throughout your day. A little bit about my journey. If you don't know, I have been investing for, over 2 decades in various asset classes here in the state of Idaho, primarily single family buy and hold. And so I have a lot I can share and teach about that. More to come on further episodes, I'm sure. And then we're going to highlight leaning on community that comes in and really shares with you what it really takes. And we're going to talk about making mistakes and growing over time. The making mistakes is important because one of the most important things that we as experienced real estate investors want to do is shorten your learning curve because there are so many mistakes that were so easily escapable, but we didn't know any better. So we want you to know better. And when you know better, you do better, right? So the message is if I can do it, you can do it. And we're going to learn together on this. I'm really excited about this path going forward. We're going to provide education and inspiration, and we'll share more about all of that in future episodes. But in the meantime, the best thing that I would ask of you is to like and subscribe. And in this case, with the name change and the expansion, we really hope to be more relatable to folks all over the country and really world. So if you would share this with someone outside of Idaho for fun and invite them to listen to this episode, and if it's right for them to subscribe, that would be the biggest gift that you could give me. Thank you so much. More to come. Our episode 2 will be just around the corner, and we're going to be sharing the 3 biggest myths holding new investors back. You can take a guess right now what those are and see if you're right. Have a great day, go and grow, and we'll see you on the next episode.